Good day and welcome to Spurloc's Crypto Update. I am Spurloc and will be looking into the Terra Luna collapse and speculating on the potentiality of it being one of the largest, if not the largest, rug pull in crypto history. Going back in time here, March 25th, an article was dropped. The Luna Foundation Guard had bought over 11,700 Bitcoin, worth roughly $520 million just that week, to build a Bitcoin reserve to support its stablecoin, Terra USD, or UST. The Bitcoin magazine found the Luna Foundation Guard's Bitcoin address after rumors online pointed at a $125 million deposit of USDT into the Binance exchange. Terraform Labs founder Kwon on Wednesday in March confirmed via email that the address indeed belongs to the Luna Foundation Guard. As of March 25th, the Luna Foundation Guard had deposited 11,759 Bitcoin to that address over the past few days. I find it interesting they're purchasing so much Bitcoin. Kwon said in a Twitter space that Terra was planning to start acquiring Bitcoin to form a $1 billion stockpile of Bitcoin as a reserve asset to back its main stablecoin UST. Wonder where that all went and why it didn't actually back the UST. Another article was dropped on April 6th of 2022. Wednesday's purchase brings the value of Terraform Labs' Bitcoin holdings to $1.6 billion, part of the way towards its target of $10 billion. So they were pretty busy beavers here, buying more and more Bitcoin as the year progressed. Another article dropped on April 10th of 2022. The Luna Foundation Guard, which is a Singaporean entity that is establishing a reserve protocol for the algorithmic stablecoin UST, added another $173 million in Bitcoin to its wallet over that weekend in a series of buys. The Luna Foundation Guard had 39,897 Bitcoin in its wallet, worth approximately $1.67 billion. During the past week, the Luna Foundation Guard had made a series of digital asset buys. They had purchased $230 million of Bitcoin on April 6th and $200 million in AVAX on April 8th. Moving forward in time, on April 13th of 2022, the Luna Foundation Guard Bitcoin wallet scooped up another 2,508 Bitcoin after acquiring 4,130 more Bitcoin 3 days earlier. After obtaining that much Bitcoin, they held at this point 42,406.92 Bitcoin, worth an estimation of $1.79 billion at the time. The Luna Foundation Guard wallet is, and was at this point, the 18th largest Bitcoin wallet. Moving a little forward in time here, on May 5th, getting closer to the collapse of the Terra Luna. The Luna Foundation Guard had acquired another $1.5 billion in Bitcoin to bolster the reserve of its most popular stablecoin, known as US Terra. The reserve now holds, at this point, $3.5 billion in Bitcoin, which puts the UST Forex reserve in the top 10 Bitcoin holders in the world. It also holds north of $100 million in Avalanche and more cryptocurrencies. The Luna Foundation Guard closed a $1 billion over-the-counter swap with crime crypto broker Genesis for $1 billion worth of UST. It also bought $500 million of Bitcoin from crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital. Moving a little more forward in time, the next day, May 6th, previously held reserves of 42,530 Bitcoin have nearly doubled to 80,394 Bitcoin. Terra's total reserve now stand at much more than $3 billion. This was on May 6th. Moving forward in time here, May 13th. The Luna Foundation Guard recently provided a loan of $750 million in Bitcoin to over-the-counter trading firms and market makers to help protect the UST peg. That means the Luna Foundation Guard should still have over $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin in its reserves, but thus far the organization has not provided any details. Luna Foundation Guard, their publicly known wallet address, now shows 0 Bitcoin balance. Moving on here, May 16th. We're well into the collapse here. Well, after the collapse, really. Kwon tried to dissolve Terraform Labs' entity in Korea just days before the historic crash. Terraform Labs is now incorporated in Singapore, but the entry did not apply for a license under the Payment Services Act. Kwon filed to dissolve the company's Korean entity on April 30th, 2022. The filing was done in the Supreme Court of South Korea's Registry Office. Kwon was approved on May 4th, 2022 to dissolve the entity just days before the UST and Luna crash took place. Starting to look a little more fishy here. Terraform Labs, the company behind UST, is incorporated in Singapore but did not submit an application for a license under the Payment Services Act, according to the Straits Times. It is also not a notified entity, meaning it has not been granted temporary exemption from holding a license by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. According to documents filed by Kwon at the Supreme Court of South Korea's Registry Office. Moving a little bit forward in time to May 16th. In the statement, Luna Foundation Guard notes that it has almost entirely depleted its Bitcoin reserves from around 80,000 Bitcoins to 313 coins. The remaining assets, which mostly comprise the crashed UST and Luna tokens, will apparently be used to compensate investors. I sure hope that is true. The Luna Foundation Guard funds were merely used squarely within its mandate to help protect the UST peg. My question there is, why was the UST peg not protected? The UST peg, let's check it out right now. Right now, the UST peg is at 9 cents. It should be at $1 or very close to it. We're at 9 cents here. Looking at the timeline, it looks like May 9th is when everything started to go bad. We're at 99 cents there. By the end of May 9th, oh man, down to 78 cents, 80 cents. Goes back up a little bit before the 10th comes in. Ends at around 93 cents. As we continue, we see drops down to 30 cents. Oh my goodness. Comes back up to 82 cents on the 11th and then crashes really majorly down to where we are now, 9 cents. So all of this Bitcoin should have been used to back the Terra USD. Yet many, many days after this whole debacle started, they finally take some of their Bitcoin out of the Luna Foundation Guard wallets into some exchanges. And that's as far as we know. We do not know what happened to that Bitcoin, why it wasn't used to support the Terra USD, or if it was used to support the Terra USD and completely failed. It's hard to say. Interesting that Kwon planned on moving their entire entity over to Singapore from Korea right before all of this happened. So on May 18th, another article dropped. In addition to the 5,189 Bitcoin, the Luna Foundation Guard held another wallet with 28,205 Bitcoin. And the Luna Foundation Guard's entire Bitcoin reserve added up to approximately 80,394 Bitcoin in total. Apparently, according to Elliptic, all of the funds were sent to Binance and Gemini amid the market chaos. This was on the 18th. Let's go back and look. The 18th here. By the time the 18th came around, it was at 10 cents. The UST, the $1 US tether, was at 10 cents. It took them that long to move their coins out. Sure, maybe it was a day or two before that article dropped. Even say it was the 16th. It was at 9 cents, where it is now still. Why didn't they move this Bitcoin out the second they started seeing a loss? Right now it's at 90. Right here on the 9th, it was at 95 cents. Why weren't they moving the Bitcoin out to support the UST peg. Questions I would like answers for, and I'm sure millions of other people do too. So recently, we've got another article which dropped yesterday, May 17th. South Korean lawmakers have reportedly summoned Terra Luna founder Do Kwon to appear before Congress and testify on the subject of Terra's USD's collapse. A Tuesday report from The Block revealed that Terra's in-house legal team had resigned following the collapse of UST. This is all just pretty fishy. Just speculating, this seems like quite a large rug pull. If somehow they don't use that Bitcoin to reimburse the investors, which I don't really see happening, this looks like a pretty large rug pull, as in one of the largest rug pulls in crypto history. Who knows what the actual answer is, but I hope all of you out there that might have lost your pants on this one, keep your head up. There's more money to be made in the market. This is not the end of the world. Hopefully you only put in the money you are willing to lose. This is exactly why. And some of the best advice out there is to always use a stop loss. Something like this happens, you're not paying attention, you lose a lot more than you would have if you just put a stop loss below, where you think it might go, unless something like this happens. And with that, thank you for tuning in. I am Spurloc. I hope you're all having a great day. Keep your heads up, and goodbye.